Welcome to Edu Skills, OET made easy. Our mission is to make you fall in love with OET.
Good morning, Father.
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 Very good morning, everyone. And if you're watching this on YouTube, kindly consider subscribing the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like our work, and do share the video so that we reach out to many more, especially those who are financially struggling to crack OET. And EduSkills is a non-profit platform. We don't charge for any of our services. And you can find all the detailed links and details in the description below. If you want to join the platform, or if you want to download the applications, all the links are given below in the description. Please have a look at that. And this is a beginner session. So let me share my screen. We'll be basing ourselves with the previous sessions, the paragraph structure and how to identify the answer, looking at the paragraph structure. Let's enjoy part B, skills reading. Part B, key skills we'll be looking into. And as I normally say, always target at grade A, 450 to 500. Definitely one of the biggest challenges you have, or people don't get proper score because they target at 350 or A grade, and they come reach the border of 340, 330 or 320. And first thing I want to tell you, I'm not going to deal with those basics which I have given in the previous sessions. If you have not understood something, you can ask me in the Q&A session. I hope you have attended the session, or you have watched the video which was given as a task for today. So always make sure that you enter the session after watching the videos and doing the task. And A to B, the transition is very important. A is a fast reading and B is not that fast reading. A, you have only 45 seconds per question. Here B, you have almost 2 minutes. So always after A, take a deep breath. Okay. And there is time, definitely. I know you are completing it in 12 minutes or 10 minutes, A part, then you have a lot of time to spare to cool down yourself, and you have to slow down. In part A, you'll be on fast track reading. So you have to slow down your brain as you reach part B. So transitioning from OET reading part A to OET reading B is very important. Otherwise, you will find it very challenging. So when you transition, consciously pacify down your brain, or calm down your brain. As the invigilators collect the paper, the first part A booklet will be collected, and then they will distribute you part B and C booklets. So that gap, that pause you can use to cool down your brain. Slow down is the dictum here. Okay, and compose yourself, deep breathing, and slow yourself down gradually. Inhale and exhale deep. Part B and C has 45 minutes, which means around 2 minutes per question. And what are the type of texts in part B? It is some policies, work emails, instructions, guidelines, and manuals. One of these will be the text, nature of the text or type of the text. 5 easy steps to speed up during reading part B. Speed up means you have to slow down, I said, then you find it is contradicting. No, speed up in the sense you have to finish within 2 minutes, even earlier. So how to make it faster or locate the answer easily these are the tips for you, or 5 steps. Test your ability to quickly understand the gist or main idea of your short text. In the very beginning, first, second, and third session, we have been dealing with how to find out the gist or the main idea of a text. And you are familiar with that, I believe. And select the answer from a list of 3, which best matches the text. The best answer should be selected. So what are the 5 steps? Read the context sentence, which gives you information about the text type. There is a context sentence or something given at the top of part B reading. So you read the context sentence very carefully and read the question statement. Then read the answer options, QAT method, question, answer, options, then text. Whereas in part C, it is QTA method, question, text, then the answer options. Wherever there are 3 options, you have to read the question statement first, then answer options, then go to the text. That is called QAT method. And after reading the answer options, question statement, and the answer options, then you go to the text. Read the text, choose the best matching answer. Okay, sorry. If you have time, check the other options in the text. You should be able to find evidence to prove these answers are incorrect, if at all you have time, or when you get back. And the method is QAT, question, answer options, then text. That's the method you have to follow in reading. And reading part B, text.
The manual informs us that the blood pressure monitor option A is likely to interfere with the operations of other medical equipment. B option is may not work correctly in close proximity to some other devices. And option C is should be considered safe to use in all hospitals.
Hospital environments.
Thank you.
Okay, hospital environments. Okay. Now, blood pressure monitor is the key word there, heading word, main word. And I have put here absolute. If you remember or watched my session on elimination method, if you haven't watched, definitely go and watch that video because I'll be referring it on almost all my sessions. It's a last resort, but still, see, I have put it here it as absolute. Should be considered safe to use in all hospital environments. So this is a absolute expression use, which is normally eliminated. That will not be the answer. And as I gave you the elimination method, I told the first one is eliminate the absolute. Eliminate the absolute. If there are absolute extreme options, answer options given, they can be eliminated immediately because that will never be the answer. And other things I told you, the select the seven skills to select the correct answer. Second one was eliminate the wrong ones. And I taught you how to eliminate and look for precise language. I taught you explained that as well. Straight opposites, just in the previous session, I told you how it is. And radical answers is incorrect, goes beyond boundaries. So I'll be citing at these things in every session, one or the other. Previous session, I explained, applied the whole strategy into one text and told you how straight opposites can be immediately eliminated. If there are 4 options and 2 are straight opposites, those 2 get immediately eliminated, automatically eliminated, and then you are left with only 2 options, which means it becomes 50% easier. And educated guess and random guess that you can watch in the video with the description link will be given in the description. Now the focus on the heading or topic sentence to understand the gist or main idea in the paragraph. It can be focused on the heading or topic sentence or heading and topic sentence to understand the gist or main idea in the paragraph that I have explained you in detail how we are going to apply that particular strategy over here.
Instruction manual, digital automatic blood pressure monitor, electromagnetic compatibility. With the increased use of portable electronic devices, medical equipment may be susceptible to electromagnetic interferences. This may result in incorrect operation of the medical device and create a potentially unsafe situation. In order to regulate the requirements for EMC, with the aim of preventing unsafe product situations, the EN 6060112 standard defines the level of immunity to electromagnetic interferences as well as maximum level of electromagnetic emissions for medical devices. This medical device conforms to EN 6060112:2001 for both immunity and emissions. Nevertheless, care should be taken to avoid the use of monitor within 7 meters of cell phones or other devices generating strong electromagnetic fields.
Okay. Now, let's maybe you can interact a bit, unmute, and once you speak, you can mute. We'll be just looking into this paragraph to understand. Please don't unmute if you have a distraction at the background. Otherwise, you can unmute and tell me. Now, you see, this is the context sentence I told you. There'll be some context heading, instruction manual, digital automatic blood pressure monitor. So heading, I said electromagnetic compatibility. And topic sentence, with the increased use of portable electronic devices, medical equipment may be susceptible to electromagnetic interference. So could you tell me what do you understand? What is the problem here? Every paragraph has a structure, maybe a problem, then there may be a cause, then maybe an effect, then maybe a solution, all those details. We'll just put in interaction mode. Problem. What is the problem?
Interfere with the
electromagnetic interferences, portable electronic devices.
So in one word, what we can say? Do you have a one word in the heading?
Electromagnetic.
Yeah. That is, you are saying 2 words. One word.
Compatibility.
Compatibility. So electromagnetic compatibility is the summary of this topic sentence. Do you understand that? Yes. Heading is always the summary of the paraphrasing of topic sentence. So main thing, if you understand that heading, you know what is the issue here. This says electromagnetic interference. Is it a cause or effect?
Effect.
Cause.
Effect.
Effect of what?
Effect.
Portable
It is
electronic.
effect of what?
Portability.
Electronic
devices. Other devices interfere with other devices.
Okay, read the next sentence and tell me whether it is cause or effect. This may result in incorrect operation of the medical device and create a potential unsafe situation. What the word result to tell you? This may result.
Effect.
Result is a synonym of effect, right?
Cause and effect.
Cause.
Cause and effect.
This may result means result is the synonym of effect, correct?
Yes, father. Yes,
So
father.
what is the cause? Cause is electromagnetic interference. Effect is incorrect operation of the medical device and potential unsafe situation. See, if that particular instrument you have mute, okay, there is one instrument creating trouble. Thank you, thank you. There is a cause and effect. An issue is presented, a cause and effect is shown. Now, when there is a problem, what should be there?
Solution.
Solution. So what is the next sentence? In order to regulate the requirements for EMC with the aim of preventing unsafe product situations, already they said unsafe product situation is there. So in order to regulate what has happened, the standard defines the level of immunity to electromagnetic interferences as well as maximum levels of electromagnetic emissions for medical devices. So that is a solution. Do you understand? Okay, I have given a solution there. This medical device conforms to this particular immunity and emission protocol instruction. So what is that? Compatibility. This medical device is compatible with the instruction manual given in the instructions given in the instruction manual. Do you see the structure of the sentence or the paragraph? Okay, now you see heading, then you have cause, then result says it is a effect, then you have the solution, then conformity is highlighted, then you have a caution. Nevertheless, care should be taken, a warning, a caution is given to avoid the use of the monitor within 7 meters of cell phones or other devices. Now context sentence, heading, and cause, effect, incorrect operation of the medical device and create a potential unsafe situation, and the solution and compatibility, then caution. This is the structure. How beautifully it is constructed. Not only this, every paragraph that you get to be beautifully constructed. Since you are beginners, I'm telling you, it takes time. Maybe one text, this particular text will take you 1 day of practice to learn in the initial stage. But as you are competent, as you read, you simply you understand these things, and immediately you can locate the answer looking at the hedging word or the keyword of the question. See, problem, cause, effect, solution, then compatibility. There is a structure of the sentence. How beautifully they have. The sequence I told you: problem, cause and effect is given. What is what created the problem? One cause and effect, that is the problem, and solution is given, and compatibility is mentioned. So this is cohesion or coherence or structure of a paragraph. To understand this structure helps you in reading as well as listening. Go deep into these things, because even in part C, the same challenge you will have. Once you're able to understand the paragraph, it goes very easily. You will simply fall in love with the whole process. So take time and analyze each and every text. That's why we are giving you 1 week just for part B reading. It needs to be, it's not the number of exercises you have done. In the definitely, as I told you, the guidelines tells you, do the task B, whatever the task of the day, in under examination conditions with the time limit, everything. But after that, try to analyze 1 paragraph each. It takes a lot of time, I know. The paragraph structure here, problem is blood pressure monitor is having the problem of electromagnetic interference. There is a grammar mistake, sorry, by mistake. And cause is electromagnetic interference. Effect is incorrect operation of the medical device and create a potential unsafe situation. Solution is the EN 606011112 standard defines the levels of immunity of electromagnetic interferences as well as maximum level of electromagnetic emissions for medical devices. That is the solution or the notice given or the manual instruction given. Now compatibility, this particular medical device conforms to this instruction, immunity and emission manual instructions. And caution is, nevertheless, it should not be used in close proximity with cell phones or other devices. See the structure of the sentence, how beautifully it is operated. And once you understand this structure, once you are competent, it doesn't require time at all. As you go on reading, you'll be identifying those words and saying, oh, this is cause, this is effect, this is solution, this is compatibility, this is caution, all those things. So what happens immediately, the question is asking about the solution, asking about a cause, or asking about compatibility, whatever. So immediately you can swoop into or just dive into that particular area of the text so that you kill your greatest enemy, that is time. I am drawing your attention to my previous session just to tell you every sentence has a function. I taught you this. It's a model paragraph. I taught you very small paragraph, how beautifully it is done. I'm not going to explain to you, but I'm telling you this is the pattern of every paragraph. That's why we are just nostalgically looking back into this particular text. Trees are lovely. They make oxygen, which is necessary for life. We should all plant one. It should change cities by providing more shade. India is planting trees to replace its old ones. Now we see what are the functions of each sentence. Trees are lovely, I said, it's opinion. They make oxygen, this is a fact, and which is necessary for life is the benefit. We should all plant one suggestion. Should this there so suggestion? It could change cities, could speculation, speaking about the future, or prediction by providing more shade, again benefit. And India is planting trees, example, and to replace its old ones, the reason for planting trees, new trees. So how beautifully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 functions in this particular paragraph, small paragraph, 1, 2, and 3, 4 sentences and 7 functions, beautifully given here. So trees are lovely, opinion, functions. They make oxygen, fact, which is necessary for life benefit. We should all plant one, suggestion. It could change cities, prediction, or speculation by providing more shade, benefit. India is planting trees, example, to replace its old ones, reason. So you see, here you should understand. That's why I said the other day, previous session, we dealt in detail with the prediction or speculation language, the word, the 2 paragraphs which started with the word imagine. Okay, so today we are speaking about cause and effect again, and it tells you the functions, different functions of different sentences or portion of part of sentences. So make sure you identify, maybe you can write down there like this in columns and understand the function of each sentence. So the manual informs us that the blood pressure monitor, what is the answer? We'll go to the paragraph. So you see, the manual informs us that the blood pressure monitor is likely to interfere with the operation of other medical equipment, may not work correctly in close proximity to some other devices, could be considered safe to use in all hospital environments. One I said already, the absolute is that all hospital environment, so it is eliminated. The other one is now instruction manual. What is the focus of this paragraph? Other devices or
device.
Yeah, one device. Which device? Please don't.
Blood pressure monitor.
Blood pressure
Yeah.
monitor.
Okay, so with focus is blood pressure monitor. So when blood pressure is monitor is focus or the main chief guest of the day, who should be focused in your answer?
Blood pressure monitor.
Blood
Yeah.
pressure monitor.
Now you maybe Mr. David is the patient who is approaching you, and there are many other patients in the ward. Now you are interested to take care of David. Are you concerned about David or other patients?
David.
David. So the one clue I am telling you, you have to focus on the focus of the paragraph. So here it is saying maybe susceptible to electronic interference. Now other option is it is likely to interfere with the operation of other medical equipments. Does it go well with the focus?
No.
No.
Yeah. If other patients are worried or if other patients have some issues, are you bothered about it? You are bothered about Mr. David, right? Your patient. So
Yes.
the focus is this particular instrument. So answer should be focused on this instrument. So this they are speaking about blood pressure monitor, this particular instrument. So they will say what are the manual instructions given for the functioning of this particular portable or this blood pressure monitor. And it says the compatibility, this medical device conforms to the immunity and emission manual instructions. So compatibility sets. So may not work correctly in close proximity to some other devices. Nevertheless, the caution is given. Caution is important always. Nevertheless, care should be taken to avoid the use of the monitor within 7 meters of cell phones or other devices generating strong electrical or electromagnetic fields. Answer is here, okay? You should not use it in the close vicinity of cell phones and other devices. Is it because The people are not able to use their cell phones because you are using this particular instrument in the hospital?
No, Father, because
No,
maybe we
Father.
able to
Yeah.
record the picture. Also.
Yeah, it's not bothered about cell phones at all. Bothered about the functioning of this. So if you are using it close to in close proximity with cell phones, your instrument blood pressure monitor will not function well. So may not work correctly in close proximity to some other devices, which is the paraphrasing of this last portion. Is that clear?
Yes, Father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Father.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yes, Father.
We'll come back if need be. Now I will not be going into detail or reading these things. This will be giving you as an assignment for you. I'll show you one more strategy over here. Maybe this one, just one you can read, just this one.
The notice is giving information about ways of checking that an NG tube has been placed correctly, how the use of NG feeding tube is authorized, which staff should perform NG tube placement, NG feeding tubes. Placement of nasogastric feeding tubes can have serious implications if undetected. Incorrectly positioned tubes leave patients vulnerable to the risk of regurgitation and respiratory aspiration. It is crucial to differentiate between gastric and respiratory placement on initial insertion to prevent potentially fatal pulmonary complications. Insertion and care of an NG tube should therefore only be carried out by a registered doctor or nurse who has undergone theoretical and practical training and is deemed competent or is supervised by someone competent. Assistant practitioners and other unregistered staff must never insert NG tube or be involved in the initial confirmation of safe NG tube position.
Okay, am I audible? It is raining very heavy here. Are you disturbed with the rain, sound of the rain?
No,
No,
Father.
Father.
No, Father. No, Father.
No, right? Okay. Maybe the recording will be disturbed, I believe. We have heavy rains. Anyhow, see how beautifully the structure is given. I don't want to go and do the analysis of the structure. I am giving you this as a task. Maybe all of the paragraphs I will be giving you as a task, 4 of them. Only 2 I will be dealing. You have to give me, for example, here again there is a problem. There are solutions and things are given. And what is that highlighted green thing? Is it a problem, cause, effect, or solution?
Solution.
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 Exactly. Solution, exactly. So the notice is giving information about ways of checking that an NG tube has been placed correctly. There is nothing to check. They don't speak anything about checking a tube which is already correctly placed. Then go and check it. It's a nonsense. In fact, it's nonsense now. Once you have placed it correctly, why should you bother now? How the use of NG feeding tube is authorized? How the use of NG tube is authorized is a process. How to use it? Okay, how the authorization happens? So there's a process. Here there is no process language used. I'm just giving you a hint. Here there is no process language used. Here there is a problem, cause and effect solution language being used. So the nature of the paragraph, if you know, immediately you know, just glancing at the paragraph, you will know second option is wrong. First option is not, doesn't make any sense. Second option is wrong. And so which staff should perform NG tube placement? Insertion and care of an NG tube should therefore only be carried out by the registered doctor, only by a registered doctor or nurse. Then again saying assistant practitioners and other unregistered staff must never insert NG tubes. So clearly they are explaining the solution, which staff should perform NG tube placement. Looking at that, immediately you can understand it's a solution. So it will be somewhere after the half of the paragraph. I allow to clean my, give me 1 sec. Somebody scribbled on my screen. Okay, we are going a little faster. So could somebody read this?
What must all staff involved in transfusion process do? A, check that their existing training is still valid. Attend a course to learn about new procedures. C, read a document that explain changes in policy.
Yeah, you see, there is something must instruction is there. Check. Then one is to check that their existing training is still valid. Attend a course, read a document. 3 things are said here. Yeah, please read.
Yes. Right patient, right blood assessments. The administration of blood can have significant morbidity and mortality. Following the introduction of right patient, right blood and safety policy, all staff involved in the transfusion process must be competency assessed. To ensure the safe administration of blood components to the intended patients, all staff must be aware of their responsibilities in line with professional standards. Staff must ensure that if they take any part in transfusion process, their competency assessment is updated every 3 years. All staff are responsible of ensuring that they attend the mandatory training identified for their roles. Relevant training courses are clearly identified in Appendix number 1 of the mandatory training matrix.
Yeah, does it speak anything about a course or a document?
And nothing mentioned.
No
No,
word is
Father.
mentioned about any course or document. That's why I said in IELTS you will have, if you have 3 options, almost all the 3 will be right answers, but you will have to check for the correct answer. But OET, the beauty is that most of the time, maybe 95+%, only one is correct, other 2 are not relevant, not given, or nothing to do with the paragraph. So you see beautifully given here. So you can immediately understand what is the answer, and modal verb must is used, and still valid is the validity of the training is the concept. Validity of the training and assessment is updated every 3 years. For example, OET, if you don't move to another country within 2 years, you'll have to update it again, appearing for the exam after 2 years. So updated every 3 years, so still valid, updated, the synonym expression used here. So immediately, the answer is must be competent, must be competency assessed. Again says training should be valid, or your validity appears, must be aware of their responsibility, must, competency assessment is updated every 3 years, must. So the modal verb clearly indicates this is the answer. Okay, we are not going into details. Okay, we'll get back later if need be. How do you read? QAT method. Question, answer option, text.
The guidelines establish that the healthcare professional should, option A, aim to make patients fully aware of their right to a chaperone. Option B, evaluate the need for a chaperone on a case-by-case basis. Option C, respect the wishes of the patient above all else. Extract from chaperones guidelines for good practice.
Sorry.
A patient may specifically request a chaperone, or in certain circumstances may nominate one, but it will not always be the case that a chaperone is required. It is often a question of using professional judgment to assess an individual situation. If a chaperone is offered and declined, this must be clearly documented in the patient's record along with any relevant discussion. The chaperone should only be present for the physical examination and should be in a position to see what the healthcare professional undertaking the examination or investigation is doing. The healthcare professional should wait until the chaperone has left the room or cubicle before discussion takes place on any aspect of the patient's care, unless the patient specifically requests the chaperone to remain.
The guidelines establish that the healthcare professional should aim to make patients fully aware of their right to a chaperone, evaluate the need for a chaperone on a case-by-case basis, respect the wishes of the patient above all else. Need not explain it. It is clearly given here. You have a contrasting word here, right? But a patient may specifically request a chaperone, or in certain circumstances may nominate one. But when there is a contrasting word, the answer must be immediately after that. It will not always be the case that a chaperone is required. It is often a question of using professional judgment to assess an individual situation, case by case. Evaluate, assess, evaluate. Assess, synonym is evaluate. The need for a chaperone on a case by case. Assess an individual situation. Each judgment, professional judgment to assess an individual situation, means case by case. Clearly given. So I don't want to go deep into it.
The guidelines require those undertaking a clinical medication review to, option A, involve the patient in their decisions. Option B, consider the cost of any change in treatments. Option C, recommend other services as an alternative to medication. Annual medication review. To give all patients an annual medication review is an ideal to strive for. In the meantime, there is an argument for targeting all clinical medication reviews to those patients likely to benefit most. Our guidelines state that at least a level of 2 medication review will occur. That is, The minimum standard is a treatment review of medicines with the full notes, but not necessarily with the patient present. However, the guidelines go on to say that all patients should have the chance to raise questions and highlight the problems about their medicines, and that any changes resulting from the review are agreed with the patient. It also states.
Yeah, no need to read actually. That's why I put it in small letters. So here again, you see contrasting word is here, right? Nowhere else you have a contrasting word. So the answer must be soon after the contrasting word is one of the strategies. And guidelines require means required. Requires means always it is should, not must. Guideline requires those undertaking a clinical medication review to involve the patient in their decisions. Now there are suggestions that if I highlight, you will not be able to understand the thing, but the background of this session is that you have done this task. You have given this task and you have done this task. Now only rectifying your doubts if you have some issues with some answers. This is just a correction session. So there were some suggestions in the YouTube comment space saying that if we have not highlighted, we could just involve ourselves to understand what is our answers. We could make our personal judgments as the reading is going on. But that you have done at home, and after that you are attending this particular session. So see, about medical review, recommend other services as an alternative to medication. In the medical review, do you say that maybe when you have allopathy, do you suggest them you go for normally is it the focus to suggest in your medical reviews you have go for Ayurveda treatment in normal conditions?
No, Father.
No, never they recommend. So it is not for general sense, it is understood medical review is not for that. Consider the cost of any change in treatments. Are they bothered about the change in the treatments when they do the medical review?
No,
Medical review means it's an evaluation. They should not be bothered about any other aspects, right? There's no cost. They are not bothered about the cost. Medical review has to be done objectively. Then rest of the things can be decided by the party, not by the health professional. Am I right?
Yes.
So I am telling you the background knowledge, the general sense can tell you these two are not the options. But then here after, however, it clearly says all patients should have the chance to raise questions and highlight problems about their medicines, and that any changes resulting from the review are agreed with the patients. Involve the patients in their decisions. Any changes resulting from the review means the patient agreed with the patient means involve the patient in their decisions. Changes resulting is the decision, and agreed with the patient means involve the patient in their decisions, clearly given. And the strategy is that after the contrasting word, however, you have the answer, and rest of the things are not required.
The purpose of the email is to answer option A, report on the rise in post-surgical complications. B, explain the background to a change in patient care. C, remind staff about procedures for administrating drugs. To all staff, subject, advisory email, safe use of opioids. In August,
this is the context. Yes.
In August, an alert was issued on the safe use of opioids in hospitals. This reported the incidence of respiratory depression among post-surgical patients to an average 0.5%. Thus, for every 5,000 surgical patients, 25 will experience respiratory depression. Failure to recognize respiratory depression and institute timely intervention can lead to cardiopulmonary arrest, resulting in brain injury or death. A retrospective multi-center study of 14,720 cardiopulmonary arrest cases showed that 44% were respiratory related and more than 35 occurred on the general care floor. It is therefore recommended that postoperative patients now have continuous monitoring instead of spot checks or both oxygenation and ventilation.
So here you see there is nothing about a report on a rise in post-surgical complications. Report language, we have not studied that now, but then understand there is something called cause and effect, argumentative, comparison and contrast, and also evaluative. So have something called report language. For example, for IELTS exam, you have to write the first essay in a report language. We have to report the data given in a chart or bar graph or pie chart, whatever. So here there is no reporting language used. That's one idea. If you are not familiar, we will learn that. As of now, to eliminate report on a rise immediately says this is not a report. This is not a report about anything. There is nothing reporting here. So a rise in post-surgical complications. They don't speak anything about rise. They say an average 0.5%. Means only out of 5,025 patients will experience respiratory depression. So there's nothing to do with rise. They don't speak of rise, means there is no comparison between low and high. All those scales are not there. So explain the background to it. Third one is remind staff about procedures for administrating drugs. So the first one is report language. Second one is process or procedure. Step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4. The previous session, I explained you how the particular, like in the part A, I think the text D was about a procedure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 steps were given. So this doesn't give any steps. This process is not there. Why I'm telling you this? Once you are familiar with these types of paragraphs, nature of paragraphs, or the nature of text, you can even eliminate those two without even reading the passage or looking at the text at all, paragraph, because there is no reporting language, no process or procedure language. So definitely the option is only B, explain the background to a change in patient care. And this clearly says how patient care, what has to be done, and the background is clearly explained. If you find it confusing, don't worry. We'll be explaining that in another session. So each day we are taking a particular focus. So today we have taken the thing what we have learned in our first and second session, the thing about the structure of the paragraph, how to identify the structure and locate the answer immediately. The structure was that a problem, cause, effect, solution, and compatibility and caution. So that was the thing we looked into it. And all these paragraphs, if I explain in detail as I did the first one, it will take the whole day, maybe 6 to 7 hours. So we'll not strain you for that.
Father,
Yeah.
this is Beena.
Yeah.
So, Father, I just wanted, in today's class, you were discussing about the problem, cause, and effect. How to, in the previous videos, it is given how to find
it is
it out.
It's clearly given in the previous sessions. I have taught you in detail about various types. For example, problem, cause, effect, then all those things. Then about the problem, reasons 1, 2, 3, 4 reasons. Then problem, solution 1, 2, 3. I have taught you all these details in the previous sessions. You have to watch the video and upgrade.
So, these are the videos given in the Coach Rain app. Those are the videos.
In the coaching Rain, you have EduSkills. You can type EduSkills Saleen. Then immediately you get all the videos. Or else look for the link in the main platform. They will post the link, all the links every day.
Thank you, Father.
So it's 12 o'clock. We'll close. Okay, God bless you. Okay, meet you again.
Thank you, Father. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Father.
Thank you so much.
God
Thank you,
bless
Father.
you. God
Thank
bless
you.
you. Bye-bye.